When it comes to dealing with the media, no one in the Trump White House is more of a star performer, I think, than Trump advisor Stephen Miller, who is a living, breathing deportation machine. Here he is jousting with CNN's Pamela Brown.
Do you think a judge should just rubber stamp what your White House does? If not, what checks and balances do you think should be in place for this White House?
When you say, do we think district court judges should rubber stamp each action, there is a premise that is built into that is absurd. The president is the sole head of the executive branch. He's the only officer in the entire government that's elected by the entire American people. Democracy cannot function. In fact, democracy does not exist at all if each action the president takes, foreign policy, diplomatic, military, national security, has to be individually approved by 700 district court judges. That's democracy. So if there's 15 communist crazy judges on the court, that each of them as a team working together can block and freeze each and every executive action.
Communist crazy judges, you gotta love it. Now, Miller also in that same interview had no time for CNN's failure to use the correct terminology when it comes to the word undocumented, which is just Orwellian newspeak for illegal.
Undocumented migrant sent a letter threatening to kill the president, promising to self-deport after the assassination. CNN reporting shows that investigators believe the migrant was set up. It was a victim of a setup. What is the administration going to do now? And this is an undocumented immigrant. I do want to note that, but this was someone who came forward, was a victim of a crime, and now law enforcement believes he was set up. Go ahead.
Well, I want to clarify what you mean, so we're talking about the same thing. Are you saying this immigrant was here illegally?
Yes, but I am, and that's why I said that. I clarified that.
You said undocumented, and I wasn't clear what that means. I'm assuming they have a fake ID. I'm assuming they have a fake social security number.
That's neither here nor there. That's getting away from the question, Stephen.
Yes, that's how it does. And by the way, it is on this issue of the question of whether calling them illegal or undocumented migrants, or hey, let's just split it down the middle and say people who shouldn't be in the country in the first place. This is where the left in America absolutely falls apart. Now, I want to take you to Martha's Vineyard, which is, of course, one of the toniest, old-money, lefty holiday spots in the United States up there in New England, and one where you'd be hard-pressed to find any support for Trump. So if I told you that when ICE agents made raids on the island and made 40 arrests, including authorities say of an MS-13 gang member and a child sex offender, well, the good left-leaning people of Martha's Vineyard would be up in arms. If you thought that, well, guess what? You'd be right.
I think it could be any of us next.
Martha's Vineyard resident Jane Catch held a sign yesterday at the Vineyard Haven terminal warning visitors.
The island has a history of supporting people who are different, supporting immigrants.
That's funny. Martha's Vineyard, a record of supporting immigrants. It's funny because back when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent a few dozen illegal migrants to Martha's Vineyard, the locals there couldn't wait to kick him out and say goodbye. Oh, bless, but weren't they so diverse for 48 hours? Look, I don't know. If the left there on Martha's Vineyard really had the courage of their convictions, they should have offered to let those MS-13 gangbangers and sex criminals come around and do a little gardening, mow the lawn, maybe look after the kids. But no, that would involve being consistent, and when it comes to the left, well, we just can't have that, can we?